Hello friends, myself Sanjeet Chauhan. I am a certified clinical perfusionist in cardiac surgery. Today we will discuss about the heart mechanism as a pumping organ. The heart can be considered as two pumps working in series. Right side pump and left side pump. Right side collect venous blood from body with the help of SVC and IVC, and left side collect blood from lungs with the help of pulmonary vein. Right side pump into low resistance pulmonary vascular bed. It's a low resistance vascular bed calculated as PVR, and left side pump into high resistance vascular bed or systemic vascular bed. It's calculated as SVR. So these are our two pumps. So both the ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle, work in synchronization and are governed by the same physiological principles. So these are our two pumps which work in synchronization. I am showing these pumps in a diagram. That's how it circulates. Right side, right ventricle. Right ventricle pump blood into pulmonary vascular bed. With the help of main pulmonary artery into the lungs. After that, lungs drain oxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary vein into left atrium via LV. This oxygenated blood pump into systemic vascular bed. Now we will discuss cardiac cycle. Every heartbeat is a series of events in which heart fills and ejects into the great arteries. This cardiac cycle is made up of diastole and systole. Diastole means resting period of the heart. During this period, the atrioventricular valve open and blood from the atria fill up the ventricles. During systole, AV valve close and semilunar valve open like aortic and pulmonary valve, and blood push into the great arteries. Now we will discuss heart as a pump. The pumping action of the heart is governed by three factors, namely preload, contractility, and afterload. Preload means during diastole blood enter in ventricles. Higher preload means more blood enters the ventricles. The stretched myocardium contracts better. It's a Frank-Starling law, but it is applicable in a certain limit, otherwise ventricle dilates and irreversible damage. The preload of the right side is measured by RA pressure and CVP pressure. RV pressure is measured by RV EDP, and left side pressure is measured by LA pressure and pulmonary capillary wedge pressure, and LV pressure is measured by LV EDP. So hypovolemic patients have a low cardiac output. Now we will discuss about contractility of heart. It's measured as ejection fraction. Normal heart contractility is directly proportional to preload. It's a Starling law. But it's not true for disease heart. Because if heart has infarction, it will not applicable. So need increase preload and help of inotrope like dopamine, dobutamine and epinephrine. After that we will discuss afterload. Afterload is resistance against which the heart has to eject. A high resistance means that the ventricle has to work against resistance. And this decrease its efficiency. Afterload of the left ventricle is measured as SVR and afterload of right ventricle is measured as PVR, pulmonary vascular resistance. SVR kept in normal range, otherwise it will affect on cardiac output. Increased SVR is bad for heart, so SVR and BP is titrated using various drugs like NTG, SNP and ACE inhibitor. By the help of these drugs, we decrease afterload, and with the help of norepinephrine, we increase SVR. Now we will discuss about cardiac output. Cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate, and on the other formula, cardiac output is body surface area into cardiac index. A normal adult has 4 to 8 liter per minute cardiac output. Post-op, we calculate cardiac output with the help of Schwann-Ganz catheter, with the help of thermodilution principle. In atrial fibrillation with fast ventricular rate, cardiac output decrease, and after that acute heart failure occurs. So we need optimal heart rate for better cardiac output. Normal heart rate is very important for good cardiac output. Factor affecting cardiac output like rhythm. We need sinus rhythm for better cardiac output. We need normal heart rate and preload and afterload that affect cardiac output. After that, contractility or ejection fraction. These are affected with oxygenation, calcium level and inotropic support. Thanks for watching our video. Please like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Perfusion Buddy. Thanks.